Welcome to another album review. On this video, I'm gonna review the classic metal album by the band Metal Church. This album, which premiered, which debuted in July 1984. Prior to that, it was released independently on their album Ground Zero. It has 9 killer tracks on here, which which displayed the epic metal force, the epic force that Metal Church was known for, especially with these 9 tracks. Even though I got the CD version, and like the cassette album, the cassette format and the vinyl format has songs on there that's not featured on the CD, but like the CD still rocks just as hard. And like with these 9 tracks, like songs like Beyond the Black and Metal Church, Metal Church, the name of this band is Metal Church, and track number 2 is considered which describes them. Not also is it the album track. It's also the band track, like Metal Church, the only church is being the sacrifice. Metal Church, yeah, like that song, and like Beyond the Black, which it kind of sounds like some epic nomadic. It got this epic nomadic feel mixed in with thrash and heavy metal and speed metal. Like this is what I like about the Metal Church album. It's a concoction of thrash, heavy, speed metal, and power metal. That's all 5 rolled into one. Like unfortunately with Metal Church, they weren't as big as bands like Slayer or Metallica or even Megadeth. Like when Megadeth and Metallica were ruling the metal waves, Metal Church was basically put on the back burner. People knew about them, but not on a large scale like Slayer or Metallica or Megadeth or even Kiss. But they still stood their ground, stood on their own, stood the test of time. And like with tracks like that, like on this album, I like Beyond the Black and Gods of Wrath. I love the song Gods of Wrath. It got the like that riff right there. It puts you in that time zone. It has that. It puts you in that classic power metal sitting in your room. It gives you that feel that you're a teenager in the early '80s with a mullet and a shirt with the ripped off sleeves. Your whole room is covered in metal records and heavy metal posters. This right here, this right here goes to show you how popular these bands are. How bands like this, where they stood, and how people received them. They had their own huge fan base. As a matter of fact, there was when they signed with Elektra. When they signed with Elektra, it put them on a bigger scale. Even though like Elektra was the same record company that Metallica was signed to at the time. No, if I'm not mistaken, no, it was Warner Brothers. Like Metallica signed to Elektra like later on. But like when Metal Church came out with this album, it really made them stick out, especially like with songs like that, and then like songs like Hitman or like In the Blood, which has this which has that feel, which has that drum feel, that sticking on the drum, like that song, and like I like that's how I like that feel. I like how they open with certain songs, and how they just drew you in with that feel to it. And then songs like My Favorite Nightmare, and then Battalions, and Highway Star, which was a cover of Deep Purple's. Like these songs written by Vanderhoof and and David Wayne and Craig Wells. They perfectly crafted this album. They perfectly crafted the feel and the sound to it, and that's what I like about this album. Like I give this album like a 9. From a scale to 1 to 10, I give this album a 9.